Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make the granny spike pattern. It makes a really cute variation on the traditional granny square. I'm using Starcraft Special DK and I shall leave all of the colours that I use in the description box below, and I'm also using a 5mm crochet hook for this particular pattern. You can go bigger or smaller, it's totally your preference. We're going to start this just like a traditional granny square, so you want to make your slip knot, insert your hook, and you want to start by chaining 6. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, that's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You then want to take your hook and put it into the first chain and yarn over, pull through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch, and that is your first space that we're going to be working in. So we're going to be working in the very circle of this space. You then want to begin by chaining 3, so 1, 2, 3, and that's going to class as our first treble. So that's a treble stitch in the UK. In the US this is known as double. So you just want to yarn over, insert your hook into the very center circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's we'll class as our second treble, and you want to do one more treble in that center circle. So that's one of our sides. We're then going to chain 3 for the corner, and then do another set of 3 trebles into that very center circle. So we have 1, 2 and 3. We're going to chain 3 again for the corner, 1, 2, 3, and just repeat the very same thing twice more. So you're going to end up with 4 clusters. So pause the video, work your 4 clusters and meet me back, and we'll join the last cluster to the first cluster. So I've just finished my last chain 3, and I'm going to insert my hook into the third chain from the bottom. So the hook just goes in here, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook to make a slip stitch. We then want to begin the next round, so you want to start by chaining 3. This will class as a treble. Now between each cluster we're going to chain 1, so we just want to chain 1 more, and we're going to start working into this corner. So it's yarn over, insert into that corner space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our first treble. We then just want to do 2 more. So this round is going to be exactly the same as a traditional granny square. So that's our third treble. You then want to chain 3 for the corner. So 1, 2 and 3. And then we're going to do another cluster of 3 trebles in that very same corner space we've just been working on. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1 and 2 and 3. We then want to chain 1 to get over to the next space and repeat the same thing in this corner. So a cluster of 3 trebles, so 1, 2, 3, chain 3 for the corner, 1, 2, 3, and a cluster of 3 trebles in that corner space again. So 1, 2 and 3. You're going to chain 1 and do exactly the same thing in the last 2 spaces. Once you get to this very last space, so the original space that you were working in, you're going to have this chain 3 here. So just stop on your last cluster and I shall meet you back here. So now I'm in my last corner and I have my original chain 3 from this row, and what I've done is I stopped on my second treble because this chain 3 is going to class as a treble, and I want to insert my hook into the third chain from the bottom and slip stitch in order to finish off that row. And I'm actually going to tie off now. In order to attach a new colour, so just make sure that's nice and tight. So I'm going to grab my next colour and attach it into the corner. I'm now going to use this turquoise colour, which is one of my absolute favourites, and I'm actually going to attach this into the corner just here. So I'm going to pull it through and I'm just going to make a knot, and I'm going to pull that knot into the edge of the corner just here. Take my hook, insert my hook and pull the thread through, and then just chain 1. So now we're going to start our next row. So we've attached our new colour, and you want to start by chaining 2 more. So we've just chained 1, add 2 for our treble, and then I'm going to chain another 1 to work into the next space just here. So we're going to yarn over and do a treble into this space, and this is where the spike pattern is going to come into play. So you want to make sure that you're not holding onto your yarn too tight, and you want to make sure that you have some loose off of your ball. We are going to do a treble, so remember that's double in the US. So yarn over, but instead of just doing the treble in this space, we're going to reach down to the space just below. So you want to insert your hook into the middle of those trebles, like so. Grab your yarn and pull through. Now at this point what you want to do is just pull on that stitch slightly, just so it's not pulling down too much, and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through, and it just makes that stitch a lot longer, and it stops you from pulling this stitch too tight, because if you pull these stitches too tight you will get a curve in your work. We then do a treble as normal in the same space as you would normally go, so just this space here. So that is your treble. You want to chain 1, and in the corner you're just going to do your cluster of 3 trebles as normal. So we go 1 treble, 2 and 3, and chain 3 for the corner, and another cluster of 3 trebles. So 1, 2 and 3. We then want to chain 1 to move across to our next space and do a treble as normal, and then we're going to do a treble but reach down into this bottom space here. So it's yarn over, insert your hook into the middle space, yarn over, pull through, pull up on that stitch just to pull through a bit more yarn, yarn over and yarn over, pull through 2. Another treble into that same space, so yarn over, insert into your normal space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1 to move over onto the corner, and we're going to do our cluster of 3 trebles, so 1, 2, and 3, chain 3, and work another cluster of 3 trebles. So I'll just show you that stitch one more time, and then you should be good to go with the rest of the rounds. So we're going to chain 1 and then do a treble into the next space, and then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the middle of the 3 trebles below, yarn over, pull through. Don't skip this step, it's really important. Pull up on your yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, and then another treble into your original space, chain 1, and work your corner as normal. So your 3 trebles, and then your chain 3, and your 3 trebles again. So work your way along this last row, and I shall recap how to finish off this row because this is classed as a treble. So pause the video, work to the end, and I shall see you in a moment. So I'm now at the end of this row. I've done my 2 trebles here, and I'm going to insert my hook into the 3rd chain from the bottom of that original chain 3, yarn over, pull through both loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through, grab your scissors, snip off the yarn and pull that yarn out. And then to attach the next colour, I am going to put it into this corner section here as we did before. I've now attached my next colour, which is called Apricot, and I've gone ahead and chained 3 to class as my treble, and then I'm going to want to chain 1 in order to reach across into the next stitch. So same as before, yarn over and do your treble into this next space, and then you're going to reach down your treble into the space below. So it's yarn over, insert your hook into this treble just below, yarn over, pull through, then you're going to want to pull up on your work to draw a bit more yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're just going to do a treble in that normal space, and then you're going to chain 1 and then do the same thing into this next space. So the bigger your square gets, the more of these types of stitches you'll do between the corners, so just bear that in mind. But always the corners are going to have just your normal 3 trebles with a chain 3 between and another 3 treble in that very same corner. So this is what your work will start to look like as you go all the way through. This was my sample piece, and I figured that as I was doing it a little bit too tight, so really do make sure you pull up on that thread just so you don't get a curve in your work. And I think the pattern is just a really nice variation on the standard granny square. So I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to keep up to date with any of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye!